Really? Wonderful. Hey, Jose.
Hey Ryan.
Have you ever heard of a ukulele?
Yes, is the instrument you play, right?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of banjo and kazooie?
No. Yes, I have.
Okay. Well,
It's like
this
that like
is
Billy Hatcher?
What?
Billy Hatcher?
No, it's not like Billy Hatcher. This is Yooka-Laylee and the Possible Lair. Um, there was a game that was just called Yooka-Laylee, which was a, for better or for worse, a spiritual successor to that of the traditional 3D platformers that were Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. And this is Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, which is, and if anything, a spiritual successor to, how would I put it? Oh, right, we don't have any audio, do we?
Do we?
It says we do. Let me make sure real quick. Sorry, technical difficulties here. Yes, we do have audio. Wonderful. But anywho, this is a spiritual successor to what you would call Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country?
Yeah. Donkey Kong Country, the well-renowned series of 2D platforming games back in the, I believe it was the Super Nintendo age. Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, and then nowadays there's like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, different things along those lines. So, Playtonic is made up of rare veterans that would have made those games back in the day, given that both Donkey Kong Country and Banjo-Kazooie were, games made by Rare back in the day. And so they've essentially, in modern history, gone out of their way to make spiritual successors to those games, hence the fact that nobody does that anymore, it seems. Which is a real shame that, Microsoft doesn't do anything with the Banjo-Kazooie property. But, anywho. And so, kind of like what you just saw there, let me explain a little bit of what we have. So, there is an overworld in this game. As you can see here by this overworld map. There are a variety of different stages that you can travel to in this overworld to essentially do the 2D part of this game. The major amount of gameplay will be the 2D Donkey Kong Country-esque stuff. But in this overworld, you're essentially going around and completing little side puzzles, things along those lines that will be fairly interactive to unlock these stages or whatever the case may be. So as an example here, we've got Nimbo, who you can throw either these fire bombs at to make him get all rainy, which will in turn make the Buzzsaw Falls a normal water-based stage. And as well as, let me get this out of the way, as well as Cliffside Quest, which will be a regular water-based stage. And then if you go and you do what we did just a moment ago.
What's that blue one do?
That's I believe that's just a regular bomb. Yeah, that one just blows up, I believe. There are water bombs. So actually, you know what? I take that back. That's a water bomb. The water bomb was necessary, I believe, to water this plant or the other plant, therefore making either the ice plant or the fire plant available to you. And so, based on just that small description, that's kind of the gist of the little puzzle solving segments you're doing here. But so anyways, as an example, now, if I could land on it, I could participate in doing Cliffside Quest Cold, but that seems to be a problem right now because I should have put the box a little bit closer. Let me see here if I can cheat my way. No, that's not going to happen. And so already you kind of get an idea of like, okay, so what they intend on me doing is probably use this box to my advantage to actually start the stage. So let's put that there instead. We'll run up here. Don't need that one. Oops, sorry. Sorry, Nimbo.
You made him angry.
Oh, he's angry just because he's all thundery. Okay. And I can only move on the ice in one direction, so we'll head down this way. And then now we should be able to enter this stage. And so given I've already played through this stage, there will be 5 collectibles in each stage, much like, again, a Donkey Kong Country or Sonic or Mario or whatever the case may be. And now the stage is all snowy. Of course, y'all did not see the watery version of it, but everything that you can imagine is frozen over was water prior. So like you would be swimming through the water, all that kind of stuff, whereas now that is all just a solid block of ice. And so kind of you can get the gist of this here. Just doing 2D kind of side scrolling stuff. As you saw there, when I got damaged, I lost my little companion Laylee. I think the lizard is Yooka, and I believe Laylee is the bat. And in the goal of this stage, which is actually fairly unique, so I already unlocked that bee there. That was the one that was being shown on the regular water stage. This, what the hell? Okay, that red guy, and now apparently I can't collect. There we go. And now on the water stage, this is the one I'm trying to collect. So I need, I need 5 crystals to open this to complete the stage. These red guys are checkpoints. They call them checkmates. Anytime I get hit, as I mentioned, I will lose Laylee in this case. And losing her is going to be like if you've ever played a Yoshi's Island game, as like losing baby Mario, because you essentially have to either collect her within a certain time limit, and if you do not, she will disappear, and you'll have to get her back through let me see, you'll have to get her back through how do I put it? They're like little bells that call her back, and then you essentially will have her back at that point, which we may see here or there, which is very similar to Donkey Kong Country. In that Donkey Kong Country, you would have to recollect, say, like Diddy Kong or whatever the case may be, or Donkey Kong himself, by blowing up barrels. Son of a gun! I'm gonna die. I'm dead. Let me see here. Anytime you hit a checkpoint, it's going to save pretty much everything you did up until the point that you died. So the fact that I dropped all those quills, say if I came back and I hit that checkpoint before then, I wouldn't have to recollect the quills. They should just be collected already at that point. Let me see here. So this is one of those bells I was mentioning. So if I were to lose Laylee in this can, for some reason I can't collect these. Wonderful. I could hit that bell and she would come back. Without her, I essentially only have 1 hit point, and I'm going to die no matter what.
What's going on?
What do you mean?
Like, why can't you get the other red one?
You have to jump on them. So I jumped on that one, and I just have to go back around to get the other one. Take that, crab. And so now we're essentially just looking for these 5 crystals. Most stages, this is, I would say, is actually probably one of the more unique stages that you'll find in the game, given that most stages do not have this mechanic where you're going around and collecting there you go. You're not collecting something to beat the stage. In most cases, you are just straight up, going from left to right or right to left, whatever the case may be, to finish the stage. You've got a roll, which, son of a gun. Well, there you go. Kind of lost her. Most cases, you will have a roll, which again is very Donkey Kong Country, and that Donkey Kong himself would have a roll. So that means if there's any enemies on the ground that will allow you to roll through them, you will roll through them and they will perish. There you go. And so that's one of the 5 collectibles for this stage. I've got to get another 4 before we're out of here. It's not required, but they do come in handy for what they call paywalls, where you need to pay Trouser the snake to get to pay through his paywall, essentially, and get through his paywall. Okay. But so yeah, still having not gotten Laylee back, if I were to get hit at any point in any of this, I would just be dead. What is that?
What if you go back to hit the bell?
Then I'd get her back. But I'm under the impression that I should come across a bell pretty soon. And even if I don't and I were to die, it's not the end of the world, because now that I've hit a checkmate, I've already got that coin, I've already got that first crystal, so that's essentially been saved. So
but would you get Laylee back?
You'll get Laylee back once you die, so now that I just died, I'm going to have Laylee back. And as I said, I don't lose any of my quills provided I got them. What am I supposed to do here?
Do you not climb?
Oh, I'm stupid. Yeah, you're right. Wasn't even paying attention to the vines that I just used the mechanic of. Okay, there we go.
You're just supposed to fly.
I was kind of, I thought so.
You use Laylee.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Laylee's not strong enough to make the both of you fly. Most that she can help with is maybe do a little twirl in the air. A little glide, if you will.
I don't even think she does the twirl, isn't it, Yooka?
I don't know. That's a good question. So yeah, like there is a bell. If I could have made it to this point without dying. And they're pretty forgiving with the bell. One thing I forgot to mention at the very beginning of the stage is so you have this right here. I guess they'll let me change it mid-stage, but essentially what this does is Yooka does not normally have a big head like this. So like if I take this off, for example, you'll lose all the 71 coin collected so far in the level. I'll do it after the fact, I guess. Or no, it really doesn't matter. So like you can turn these off and on, I guess, at any point in the stage, but given it's going to change your quill multiplier, it's going to take away all the quills you earned during said stage. But a lot of these can make the game easier, can make the game harder, and therefore adjust the amount of quills you get throughout the stage. Some of them are just purely cosmetic, so hence huge head just makes him have a big head, or huge head I should say. That's really just honestly for my own benefit of making Yooka have a big head. So like for example, if I turn that off, now Yooka has a regular sized head.
It's not the same.
Yeah, well, you're used to it that way, I'm used to it that way, but that is definitely not what was intended. It was for him to have that big old head. Honestly, a lot of the reason I have that turned on is just so I can kind of see my character better in this game. Which may sound silly, but nonetheless. And there's other things, like you can make the game look like an old kind of Game Boy game, which is pretty hard to see what's going on. And I kind of feel the same way about a lot of the cosmetic ones like that. Because like this one is going to make it really pixelated. This one's kind of cool because it really does make it look like it's an old like Game Boy game or anything like that with how pixelated it is. So this one I kind of like, but you know, over just playing the basic game in its normal kind of viewpoint, I wouldn't pick it exactly. I haven't even turned on Blockbuster Film. Let's see.
Oh.
It doesn't look that different to me. It just looks like a lot of the lights are kind of flared out. And then of course black and white. Yeah. Oh, fuck. And yeah, as long as you can get into contact with Laylee, I'm not even gonna try at this point. Before she happens to fly away, then you'll get her back. All right. So now
Imagine if you got like a little top hat.
What?
Yooka. Whenever it was black and white, or you got one of those detective hats or something. And
so like some of these other ones where like the quill bonus goes down are like to my benefit to turn these on. And so like you know, I get an extra twirl in the air, or there's more checkmates throughout the stage, meaning there's essentially more checkpoints. Laylee panics for less time and is easier to catch, therefore. So yeah, those would make the amount of quills I get throughout the level lower. The quills in this game are, I guess, necessary. Like, you do need to collect a certain amount of quills to get certain stages to move on in the game, at least to play certain levels, I should say. Because in the overworld, there will literally be points where, like, you need to unlock this thing, and to unlock this thing, you need 1,000 quills. And so without 1,000 quills, you are not going to be able to play this stage or what have you. So, yeah. Let me see here. What is the point of this? Is this... Oh. Okay. So I think I was supposed to get there, not by doing what I did, but by... There we go. By doing this. Fudge. Which I find this to be harder than what I did, even though it is the intended way of doing it. And then there's a bunch of different kinds of quills that are all different colors, so kind of what, like you saw the red ones, there's the pink one there. They're not really important, they're not really seen as collectibles per se, they are just, I don't even know how I'd get to that. They're just to collect more quills, and they tend to give you more quills than the average. To where, like, that one, I think once you activate it by just touching it, it just starts to spit out a ton of quills very quickly. Let me see here. There we go. There we go. And so those colored quills, I would say, are better for trying to collect a bunch of quills for, you know, kind of like what I mentioned before, the overworld ones. Like, this will get me one of those colored quills. And so that one is a timed one where I need to move quickly to collect all the quills that are following it. And if I don't collect them in the time limit, he won't turn into that those pair of 2 quills there. Although now, I'm kind of confused. I think I have the idea of what you're supposed to do to get that. I have to make this platform fall and then have them fall down. Get what I'm saying?
Isn't there another one on top though?
What do you mean?
That guy up there on
the other side? Yeah, but this would be a little bit easier, I think, to have 2 of them. Fudge. Come on, fall down. And also, I don't know if I can get back up there onto the right side, otherwise I would do that. Get some timing. Come on, fall. Okay. Are you serious? Okay. That's kind of uncool. Come on, get down here, and you're just gonna do the exact same thing. Well, what the hell?
Do the other one. Try for the other one.
No, I know what I'm gonna do. So, let's see here. There we go, that should do it. There we go. Come on, activate. Okay. Alright. Come on. Go back up. Hey, okay. So I'm gonna have to use this essentially as a footstool to get up there. Perfect. I was very anxious about screwing that up
Would it
because
have been easier to get the other one though?
okay. Just out of curiosity, would it have been easier? I can't get that one. That's what I was saying. I can't get back up there. I'd have. Maybe I could go all the way back around, but we'll see here. No, I'd have to literally go all the way back through to do that. So
Well,
that
you
was.
would have done it correctly.
Well, if you'd shut your face.
Oh.
Stop.
You should your
No, stop backseat gaming me. Okay.
You have to backseat game if you did correctly the first.
Oh, okay. Well, pardon me, sir. Oh god. Okay. So now it's just a matter of finding these other ones. And again, there's no lives in this game, so there's not really like a major loss in you dying. Like, really, you could just die as much as you wanted to, which I tend to do a lot in this game. Just because it's like kind of necessary in some cases. If you pass certain coins, twit coins in this game, you are screwed because you literally will not be allowed to go back and get them. So dying when you know you've passed one actually ends up being the better call sometimes, because otherwise you'll have to replay the entire stage up to that point. Okay, so this is where I screwed up before. Given these all fall, I need to time this. Oh, okay.
That was really close.
Yeah. That's gone in my favor sometimes and not so much other times. Okay. So. All right. Oh, God. No! Oh, okay. All right. No. So now we're gonna have to get back to that point and do all that over again.
Everything else is saved though, right?
Yep, everything but my the quills is saved. So yeah, it's a generous enough system for checkpointing. But like, yeah, I have to get all of these quills again if I want to collect them. Oh God, come on, come on, come on, come on.
It's right there.
I know. Alright. But yes, like that's all I'm really losing, and that's why you see that big pile of them when I die, is that's essentially all the quills I've accumulated in between the last time I hit a checkmate and that point, pretty much. And really, I probably don't even have to go back, because you get a pretty decent jump by doing a roll into a jump. Which again is a very Donkey Kong Country-esque kind of momentum thing, where like you gain momentum by rolling, and then you do a jump, and that's essentially your long jump. Oh fudge! No, I'm dead. Wait, no, I'm not. Come back.
What?
All right. So yeah, you can kind of cheat it.
The small amount of immunity, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you can cheat that in the case of like if you can get Laylee back in that time frame, if you're lucky enough, it can work out to your favor like it did there, essentially for me. Boink. Come the fuck on. Oh. Oh God, not again. Ugh. Come on, come back. No, I lost her this time, and I'm dead. I jumped too early, but whenever you don't have her, you can't do the little spin in the air, and so you are pretty hampered in your movement at that point. So I, when doing that jump, was thinking, oh, I can just press X and I'll make it, and then of course I couldn't, so that was my mistake, obviously. Oh fuck, let's not do this again. Okay. And then you could just skip that and come back to it some other time, really, if you wanted to, in regards to doing that blue quill. It's really just for the currency in this case. Here we go again. And then, as I said, I could just do a long jump here if I really wanted to, but that kind of screwed me over. Now I don't have Yooka at all. So maybe that wasn't such a good idea, because now I'm pretty hampered in what I can do moving on. Why? Why does that not work?
I think you're supposed to go down there.
I'm supposed to, I know, but I just think it's so weird, because I'm like, I just don't. Oh, okay, that's my fault. Every time I'm assuming I can make that, and it doesn't work, so I just need to play it the way I'm supposed to.
Trying to break the game.
No, I mean, it just seems like you should be able to get up that high. But apparently, I can't.
Just grab the ledge.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, this is pretty much the general loop of it. Obviously, as I said, this stage is a little bit different in that
It's just the ice version.
it's the ice version, and you're collecting something to finish the stage, as opposed to just doing a typical run from left to right.
Are those like little goblin things on jetpacks?
Yeah, they're wearing jetpacks. They suck. I think the general like character design in Yooka-Laylee really blows. And I'm not afraid to say that because I genuinely think the enemies were meant to be placeholder, and instead of just making new enemies for the second game being this one, they just kept using the same enemies. Not to mention, keep in mind that your major like antagonist in these games is named Capital B, and he's a and he's a large bee man, and you would think by that nature that he would have, you know, grunts or minions. Ooh, give it. Okay, good. Great. Fuck. Come on.
Oh,
right.
shit.
Yeah. You would think that his minions would be at least insects, you know, bees or whatever the case may be. And maybe he doesn't, because the whole point of this game obviously is to collect. As you can kind of tell, I have 23 bees. And when I return to the overworld, I'll show that screen that, let me see here, of all the bees you are meant to collect as part of the bee-tallion. And that Capital B has obviously captured these bees, as you can tell, as you can see here. And that's Capital B himself, a statue of him at the very least.
Oh, shoot. He's not a bee?
Yeah, he's a bee.
Is he?
Yeah, he's black and yellow, just like everybody else. And anyways, so Queen Bee, or whatever, I think her name is literally Queen Bee, or something like that. She is the queen of all the bees. And he essentially is trying to obviously take over the world and take over the whatever bee kingdom this is, or blah blah blah. Oh, fudge. Come on. 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 Okay, cool. But, anyways. Do this. That does nothing. Okay, I'll just screw it. We'll go this way. And yeah, you're essentially trying to get all the bees back for her bee-tallion. Hey, there we go. That's how you're supposed to get that, apparently. And so as you can see, this one just kind of literally coughs up a bunch of quills and then throws a bunch of them out.
It explodes.
Yeah, after however many seconds. Let me see here. Okay, so the last one I imagine must be somewhere over here. There we go. Nope. Oh, and see, if this were the regular water stage, I'd be doing a lot of what you see here, a lot of swimming around. Alright. And I'll give like an example of what the water stage looks like. I'm not going to play through it, given that I already have, and you've kind of seen the general layout of this stage. There we go. Very good.
Is that like a portal thing, or?
It's just where those guys are spawning.
Oh.
And they're going back to.
Can you kill them under the water?
I don't think so. I mean, like you can do a little boost like that, but I don't believe these guys are killable. All right.
So that was the last coin.
That was the last one, and that takes us back here, and I've got the last of the coins is notated in the upper right of the screen when I pressed pause. So now we should be able to rescue this bee. There's a butt slam, which I can't do right now because I don't have Laylee, so I was going to do that, but I can't. And so I've rescued that bee. They all have names. It's whatever. That bee's name was Jeff Dronin. So,
way to go, Jeff.
I don't know if that's a reference to something or not. So, anywho, once you've rescued a bee, they'll get sent back over to the queen, who is her. Now I've got 24. There's a total of 48. So I imagine based on the number 48, if there's 2 stages per stage, if that's how you want to put it. That means there must be 24 total stages in the game, which happen to have 2 versions of them, so in reality it's like 48 stages.
Is there ever like a boss stage by any chance?
The boss stage, you could say. So one thing that's interesting about this is from the very beginning of the game, you can go and complete the game. Breath of the Wild,
One attempts?
Yeah, that was like my only attempt because it was the start of the game. They force you to do it, essentially. And so it's a really hard stage, and that's why it's called the impossible lair. And I'll kind of show that to you here in a second. But let me do what I said I was gonna do real quick.
Water.
And change this back to the water, show you the water stage. If I could not be such a dunce. So yeah, like for example, do that, throw that at him. Will now be the water stage. And I'll need to move this box anywho, just so it'll make it a little bit easier for me to get to the ice version of this stage when I get the chance. And so like as an example, this is what the water stage is. So this is Cliffside Quest, Not Cold.
What is that bee's name?
We'll see here in a second. And then, so at the beginning of each stage, you have the opportunity to pick your little dealies, your whatever you want to call them. They're called tonics, I believe. And so as you can see, it's this one instead of the other one, and this is the water version of this stage. So where this was normally frozen, you can go all the way down here, swim around, collect some quills, all that jazz. And so you can imagine that most of this stage is very water-based, as opposed to the other one, which was very frozen-based. You know, like the movie Frozen.
Let it go.
Yeah. And so you'll be doing a lot more swimming in this stage, blah, blah, blah. But you're ultimately doing the same kind of stuff.
Oh, he has a bomb.
Yeah, he's got a bomb.
It's mine.
And as I said earlier, I think the enemy design is lackluster, and that I think a lot of these enemies were meant to be placeholder enemies that they just kept around for some reason.
It would have been cute if they let you keep his floaty. Yeah.
So anyways, here's all the bees that I've unlocked from all the different stages. They have
Crispy.
Willicombe, Poe, Day Lidl, Jeff Dronin, Crispy, and they all have little descriptions. One a place in the battalion via social media. Much valued producer of many honeypots. One of the older battalion members known for delivering zingers and dealing with zingers in a former life. Zingery, Dambian, so on and so forth. And then the rest of them are obviously in my given I've yet to collect them. This is all of the tonics I've unlocked this far, or haven't. So where you see here that a lot of these have quills over them. So 750 quills to unlock Googly Eyes. 500 quills to unlock Broken Controller. It tells you what it does. It'll tell you what the quill bonus is going to be. So these make it harder. These make it easier or don't really do anything. And so yeah, essentially you could buy some of these to make the game a little bit easier or harder, to collect quills a little bit quicker, to then therefore maybe unlock a lot of these tonics a little bit quicker. Some of them again are just going to be purely, cosmetic. This one happens to turn it upside down, so that makes it a little bit harder. Play deadlier in this parallel dimension. It looks pretty dark, so I'm assuming that's another purely cosmetic one. Yooka looks a little more human. I'm interested to see what that does. So we'll see.
The real
Luki and Laylee are missing in Limbo. I'm assuming this is going to make the game look like the indie game Limbo, if you've ever seen that.
I have.
So yeah, let me see here. And so yeah, let me see. You can kind of fast travel wherever you want at any point. This is going to be all the achievements for the game here. And so I'm just going to fast travel back to the Impossible Lair itself. You can fast travel wherever you want, provided you've unlocked the stage. So the game starts with you right here. You do a little intro sequence, and you can go in here and do the Not So Impossible Lair, which for every member of the battalion that you've unlocked, you get essentially a hit of invincibility. It's a free hit. So by me having 24 of them, I have 24 hits.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And so that means you can go and finish the game with the members of the battalion, or you could just from the very beginning go into the impossible lair and do it with no battalion.
Just 2 hits?
Just 2 hits. And so you start out with this little boss fight, which the boss fight itself is not too difficult.
And you can't use multipliers here?
Do what?
It doesn't give you the option for multipliers?
I don't believe
tonics.
so. Yeah, the tonics, I don't believe so. If you didn't see it there when I selected the stage, then yeah, I don't think so. And this boss fight itself is not particularly hard, as I said. Hopefully I can get Yooka back. So he'll give up, and then the actual stage will start. And then I imagine you will have to fight him again throughout the stage. And perhaps the fight gets harder. So he's, I don't need to fight you. I'm just gonna go.
I ain't got time for this.
I got time for this. I'll see you later. And then you're like, oh, we did it.
You win.
You did it.
First try.
Yeah. And then no, there's more stage, and it's having already had to play a little bit of it. It's pretty brutal. Hence why I think they give you all of the members of the battalion, because, you know, all these little guys, who cares? But then this, like, immediately is like, okay, cool, thanks. Get up here, get up here, get up here. And so, as you can imagine, just doing this stage with the 2 hits and not, you know, not failing, because I don't believe there's any checkpoints, is going to be hard enough as it is. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm done by just having died there. Yeah. So you have to do it. Like, you can't, there's no checkpoints or anything like that. You have to do it.
Oh, same percentage.
Yeah, I got about that far the first time I did it. And so, you know, there's probably an achievement involved with that, or whatever the case may be. But, you know, you could do the exact same thing and then turn on the battalion, and then that's going to give you 24 free hits of essentially getting through the stage.
But if you were to fall there, it just ends?
I don't know. I really don't. It may just take one of them like it's a life and you may respawn. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
It'll be carries you, flies you up.
Yeah, maybe. And so, let me see. What was the other thing I was going to show? I think that was it.
We wanted to see the tonics.
I wanted to see the tonic. Yeah, I wanted to see that human tonic. And like roll faster. Like it runs a little faster. So like these things seem like they would be of benefit to just get through the game quicker. So let's see. Let's go to the first stage here.
Is that the only way you can activate the tonics?
Yeah, they are only activated during gameplay.
Chapter 1.
Yep. So let's see what human Laylee looks like. Turn on these just to see how much faster we can go. Okay, let's see what human Laylee looks like.
What?
He's just kind of stretched out. That's about it. Yeah, he's just kind of stretched out.
Yeah,
Nothing too crazy.
Oh.
I kind of dig it. I don't know.
Speedrunning.
I mean, I just kind of dig the way he looks for some reason. Just that slightly more elongated makes it easier for me to like tell where he is on the screen. Honestly, I think that's the major reason I'm okay with it. But yeah, like without having to like get all the coins, you can just kind of breeze through these stages. Like, you know, there's the first Twit coin. Maybe not. Maybe that's the second one. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much Yooka-Laylee and Impossible Lair. If you like Donkey Kong Country, you know, it's a game for people who liked Donkey Kong Country. That's what it was meant to evoke. And it's more of that. If you don't care for Donkey Kong Country, and you just want to play a pretty decent 2D platformer, also should suffice for most of those people. But, you know, like, do I enjoy it? Yeah, I myself like Banjo-Kazooie. Therefore, like, part of me appreciates this at the very least for what they've tried to do. But like, for me trying to get all the twit coins as an example, just trying to like 100% the game just in some regard or another, it's been a real pain, and not that fun a lot of the times. I don't know how much I agree with the idea of them just kind of opening up the stages to you in the way that they do, that given, as you've kind of seen, you have the opportunity to play one stage and there's a second version of it that happens to be very similar but just slightly altered in one way or another. It kind of incentivizes you to just play both stages back to back despite how similar they are, and I can appreciate that, given that, you know, I myself would have probably complained and been like, oh, if they unlocked this later in the game, I would have been like, oh, well, why didn't they just let me do this earlier so that way I didn't have to come back here and do it again? But at the same time, I kind of wish they did, because by not having that, I'm just playing the same stage twice before I move on to the next stage. And so, I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily their fault. I think that's just the fault of me, in this case, the player, and how I choose to play. But, anywho.
It's like you defeated the game first try.
Yeah. But, anywho, any other questions, Jose? All good?
I think I'm good.
Okay. Thanks, buddy.
No problem.